Hello folks, The Last Patriot 2016, known as the Badass Geek, nicknamed Skyscraper. Friends like to call me Nick. How we doing today? Wow, a lot of shit going on in the news today. As you can see, I'm in New York. Yeah, been the heart of the shit, so to speak. But hey, you go where you gotta go, do what you gotta do. But, you know, let's get into this. It's been a crazy news week, and there's a lot going on. And let's face it, we've got a lot of tainted justice going on. Unfortunately, we're getting into mob rule. And that is more obvious than not with the charges that have been brought up against the police officer in Atlanta. I mean, seriously. 11 counts, voluntarily homicide. I mean, seriously. So, we are giving criminals more rights than we're giving police officers. And then we wonder why we're having all these altercations. If you know you can get away with it, why would you not? I mean, it's obvious. You can sucker punch, steal a taser, run down the street, and nobody cares. But it's always the officer's fault. Working in security, having a lot of friends that are cops. I know a lot of them are looking into new careers. You want to defund the cops? It's real easy. What are you going to do when there are no cops? The blue flu has been catching in Atlanta, from what I hear, because I know a few people that live down there. And I also want to make note of July 7th. They are quietly talking about, and I hope more people will push this, talking about doing a Blue Lives Matter walkout in honor of all the police officers shot in Dallas on July 7th, 2016. I really think that with the mob rule, we've tainted the justice system. We obviously have a DA in Atlanta that is up for re-election next year. A lot of people aren't paying attention to that aspect of it either. But the fact that he's up for re-election, he's way pushing past. I mean, use of deadly force is in most police districts. If you so much as touch their duty belt, they have the right to, let alone if you steal a baton, you take you touch anything on their person pretty much. The thing I don't understand is 41 minutes. It took 41 minutes. Cordial, polite, I don't really think these cops didn't stand a chance. And that's a shame. Because, wow, we're automatically going to run and burn down the Wendy's. I mean, seriously, this is where we've gotten to. Knee-jerk reactions. There is no justice system now. We're all, well, it's a white cop, black guy. It's got to be racist. No, it doesn't. In fact, the number of black people killed by cops is lower than white people killed by cops. Actually, black people who kill white people is way higher. But we don't ever hear about the, white lives matter. Until we come to more of an agreement, and we got to start using this thing, common sense ain't so common, and I know it hasn't been common in a long time, but this is like craziness. We are on the verge of, it's going to be the Wild Wild West. You know what? You want to defund the police stations? I don't see that being a problem, because I don't see anybody running out to sign up to go to the academy, because why would you? If you sign up to go to the academy, you're going to get slapped with anything. Any decision you make is going to be wrong. I'm going to tell you what, next time somebody's raping your daughter, call a crackhead. Call Black Lives Matter. See if they show up. See if they care. Maybe they'll join in. Seriously. Hell, call your neighbor. See what he does. Call your mom. Hell, call your dad. Call your grandpa. Call your son. Call your daughter. Or your other daughter. I mean, seriously. Who are we going to call if we defund the police? But we're not giving the police a fair chance. And we're running rampant. I mean, seriously. First off, you assault a police officer, that's automatically a felon. He was already a felon and intoxicated in public, and he was on his way to jail to protect him and protect the people. I mean, seriously. And then you get into a scuffle, you steal a taser, which the same DA has said is a lethal weapon. I heard on the Sunday morning shows and whatnot last week. So, taser's a deadly weapon in one instance, but, he's worried about his career. But then again, I think there should be where's the ethics committee for the Georgia law bar? Or for the lawyers in Georgia? Has anybody asked that? Because that press conference he gave was completely biased. He completely sided automatically. He deemed the cop guilty before going to a grand jury. That should be a problem. That should be a major problem. Yeah, there's the skyline. Chilling on the rooftop. In the middle of New York. Manhattan ain't the same. It's pretty boarded up. Though, luckily a lot of businesses have those roll-down, seal-deal doors. Obviously, there's a reason for it. But we really, really need to start coming together. And you know what? Yeah, there's a few bad cops. The George Floyd thing, don't exactly agree with how he died, but you know what? Some people are probably going to hate me at this point, but I'm going to say it. Best thing that ever happened to that family. If you stop and think about it, a criminal who would have never made $1 million. You know the funny thing is, George Floyd was a criminal. He robbed people, was a drug addict, and guess what? Him and his family are still robbing you without a gun. And they're robbing you in the, I guess they're robbing you in the sense of a GoFundMe. Well, we lost our poor son that we cared so much about, but we didn't care enough about to get him straight, clean, and get him out of jail. Keep him on straight and narrow, get him clean, get him off the drugs. You know what? Once a druggie, always a druggie. I've had too many friends die at the hands of druggies. You've got no sympathy in my book. And what meth does to people, I've seen it firsthand. I'm an Iowa farm boy. My hometown was Meth USA versus per Newsweek back in 95, 96. Users versus Capital. I thought it was hilarious. Everybody's like, woohoo! We made Newsweek. Nobody stopped to think about what we make Newsweek for. You know what? We don't need police reform. We need criminal reform. We need parent reform. I mean, seriously. Nobody cares about their kid until they're shot or dead. If you actually cared about your kid, you'd keep them clean, keep them on the straight and narrow, keep them off the drugs, keep them off the streets, keep them out of the gangs, keep them out of crime. If your son, daughter, niece, nephew is a criminal, you're to blame. You're to blame. You're not doing anything. You let it continue. Somebody in your family's been in and out of prison more than once, been arrested multiple times for things. You know what? If you don't love them now, don't come out crying when something bad happens. Yet again, don't get me wrong, the George Floyd incident was horrific. I don't argue with that one bit. But, yet again, a criminal, a thug. You know what? And wow, a $14 million life insurance policy paid for by you, and you. You feel suckered yet? I don't know. Don't have all the answers, and nobody's perfect. But you know what? We got to start using a little bit of common sense here. I mean, if you don't love your children enough, if you don't love your father enough, if you don't love your family enough to help get them clean and get them on the straight and narrow and get them out of the drugs, get them out of the gangs, get them out of the life of crime, history repeats itself. And at that point, who's responsible? A lot of things are messed up. Yes, officers will be charged. Yet again, I will say it again. Don't agree with the way the George Floyd thing went down, but nobody's going to dial 911.
Yeah.
Everybody's videotaping it. That's the other problem we've got. Everybody's got a cell phone camera. Everybody wants to record. You know what? Instead of recording, why don't you call? It takes 30 seconds to call the cops. But you're more worried about, I'm going to become YouTube famous. Everybody wants their 30 seconds of fame. Everybody wants to be famous. Maybe that's part of a problem. What do you want to be famous for? Doing the right thing, or look at my YouTube video? I despise you people that are out there that will record this stuff, but I don't see any of you running up to intervene. As far as I'm concerned, the George Floyd thing, I think everybody that recorded that should be held accountable as an accomplice. Those cops standing there can be held accomplices, you should be too. Because you know what? You didn't do anything but videotape. Hey, stop and think about that for a second. But folks, this is the Last Patriot 2016, codename Skyscraper, known as the Badass Geek. Friends like to call me Nick. Checking in from New York. I will talk to you guys later. Peace. Stay safe out there. Stay frosty.